Pretty cool. Thanks, guys, for being here. Today's really just all about Smite. I mean, my name's Todd. I've got with me the attractive and talented Hi-Res Bart, the slightly more attractive and more talented Hi-Res Kelly. Pretty basic agenda for the next hour. One, we wanted to share with you a little bit about the history of Hi-Res and the history of Smite. This was a pretty huge year for us. Thanks to all you guys. Who out there is playing Smite? Thank you, thank you, thank you. Our player base has doubled in the last year. We raise in concurrency every single month. We're about to launch on Xbox One, so it's been actually a huge year for us as a studio. We've actually doubled in size from 75 to 150 people at our studio in Atlanta, so thanks to everyone for playing the game. But we started from very humble beginnings, and we want to share some of those with you. So that's going to be the first part of the day, is sharing a little bit of that history with you. And then we're going to do an extended Q&A, but before that, we wanted to give you one spoil. So we will show you some concept art for the next god or goddess. Any guesses? Damn, they know. My God. But you haven't seen the concept art. It's pretty cool. So we're going to show that number 2. And then we're going to save most of the time for Q&A on any topic that you want for any of us. And throughout the Q&A, we'll also be giving away many lovely prizes from all the partners that are helping us support Smite, and Bart and Kelly will tell you more about that when we get to it. So first, let's go way, way back. So Hi-Res has been working at developing video games for 10 years, but our history as a studio goes much farther back than that, actually to 1982. Who in this room has seen the face of Erez Goran, our CEO? Anyone? Raise your hand. Wow. Okay, wow, a few. He makes appearances on stream from time to time. But Erez is our CEO. He was the angel investor behind Hi-Res Studios. He took a risk and basically put his personal fortune on the line in starting Hi-Res Studios 10 years ago. And a lot of that is because back in 1982, before college, he and his brother were developing games for the Atari 2600 console. Anyone play that? Anyone alive back then? He was developing games and got a few published for the Atari 2600 and the Atari computer. And that was a very different video game industry than the way games are developed today. So we're going to give you guys a glimpse at some rare video from 1982 where you'll see Erez and his extremely attractive friends as they describe their video game development process. Let's take a look at that.
Brought to you by Kellogg's Special K.
ABC News has returned to a single anchor format with the announcement that Peter Jennings will succeed the late Frank Reynolds at the helm of its World News Tonight program. Jennings has filled in for Reynolds since early last month. The network has not revealed what's next for Max Robinson, one of the show's former co-anchors. It's the first time all 3 major networks have had solo anchors since the mid-'70s.
Some enterprising college students are providing their own summer jobs this year with a money-making computer software company. As Frank Casey reports, those keyboard operators are making the most of the latest technology.
They started out in their early teens, just playing around with home computers. They're college students now, and the video games they played have turned into serious business. A little more than a year ago, 4 of the teenagers got together and formed a company called Microvisions, creating new video games and selling them to a computer software company.
Since its inception, we've grossed over $300,000.
Microvisions, with 4 founders and some 20 associate programmers, mostly teenagers, each working in his own home on his own computer, have produced 400 video games, from Bookworm to baseball. Most have been sold, and many are expected to be on the shelves by this fall. Creating a video game can take weeks of long-hour days.
I have these machines at home. I use them most of the time, but I do get out and I do other things. I try to steer away from the computer for probably a couple of hours each day.
Information programmed into a computer is recorded on a disk. Just to make a ball move across the screen can take several lines of programmed instructions.
Line 1 sets up the screen. Line 2 positions the ball on the screen, and line 3 tells it to go back and reposition it in a different place so you can get the effect of a ball moving across. And when I type in run, it's the command to execute the program I just typed in. It runs the ball across.
Baseball, created by the Gorin brothers, is already on the market. How long did it take?
About 2 weeks between the both of us.
How much did you get paid for that?
It was $1,500, I think.
Some, but not all, members of the company say their earnings will go toward college expenses. One of the computer experts, who says he earned $20,000, treated himself to an RX-7 automobile.
How much it cost, roughly? I'd say $10,000.
With most of the group heading back to college this fall, the future of Microvations is on hold. If nothing else, how they spent their summer vacations might make an interesting computer game. Frank Casey, Independent Network News.
And we have a lot more to tell you about tonight, including why Yoko Ono is suing a men's magazine.
The News Channel, London, Rome.
How about that? Sweet. So, yeah, that was a young Erez Gorin and his brother alone. And if you couldn't hear the audio, they got a few games published. His brother made him enough money to buy an automobile. Erez made pretty good money himself. But around 1982 to 1985 was the crash of the video game industry. You know, the whole E.T. buried cartridges thing. And so Erez had to turn his attention to other things, and let's take a look at that, which catches us up to date to the founding of Hi-Rez. Another video. All right, so that kind of catches us up. So there was a lot in that video, but basically the story was that Erez, after the video game industry crashed, started another company, a much more boring business-to-business software company. But actually that's one where our management team met each other and started working together over 20 years ago. Those companies did really well, and Erez became a self-made millionaire. And in 2005, sorry, instead of retiring, you know, he could have bought many yachts or many second homes, but he decided to take his money and start a video game company. And you know, there's a joke: how do you become a millionaire in gaming? You start as a multimillionaire. That was kind of the case for the first 5 years, actually. So after you know, investing about $20 million in our first game, we came out with Global Agenda. Any Global Agenda players out there? Sweet. So Global Agenda was a pretty ambitious project for us as our first game from a new studio. It's basically trying to be both a shooter and an MMO, and a bunch of different game modes. And we learned a lot from it. It was a great game, still probably in some ways my favorite game. But it wasn't a moneymaker for us, definitely, but we learned a lot. And we built a bunch of technology. That technology platform and learning allowed us to do our second game, Tribes Ascend. Any Tribes Ascend players out there? Sweet. Awesome. So Tribes Ascend came out. It was we learned a lot, again, from the first game, and certainly from Tribes. Continues to have a very active player base, and one day the world will be ready for more Tribes. Our third game, Smite, as the video said, and what we're here to talk about, had a really long beta period. It launched, and at the time we were very proud of that launch tournament, which was a $200,000 prize pool and watched by 300,000, but we were able to follow that up with our first World Championship in January. Anyone able to attend that? Sweet, thanks. So yeah, thanks to tremendous work by esports team, community team, Kelly hosting. That's all the compliments you get. It was a great event for us, really. Appreciate everyone who came to Atlanta to see it. We crowdsourced the prize pool. It was $2.6 million. It honestly blew us away that the community was able to contribute $2 million to the prize pool. That just blew away our expectations. So, huge event for us, but of course, we think we're just getting started because the team's been now hard at work on the Xbox One version. If you haven't played it, please come by our booth and play it, and also harass us after this event if you don't have early access alpha key, because we want to get that into your guys' hands so you can play, because alpha for Xbox will start next Wednesday. Anyone looking forward to playing it? Please? Yes? Awesome. Yeah, come by the booth. Controls do feel really good, and the team's been working hard at that. So, Sweet. Well, I want to leave enough time for Q&A, so we are going to advance to our spoil, I think. What do you think? Enhance, yes. We're going to enhance and advance to the spoil. So, this next goddess has been data mined. It is Medusa. We won't show the model, but what do you guys think of that concept? Pretty good? No, thank you. The model looks even better, but we'll save that for a Bart reveal sometime soon. And with that, Bart, why don't you tell these fine people what our Q&A giveaway structure is?
Okay, so not only do you ask questions, we answer them. That's how Q&A works. And then you all have raffle tickets in your chairs, as you may have seen. You are automatically entered into one of these wonderful prizes on the table over there, which are some 3D prints of God models by Sandboxer. You have the Scuff controllers at our booth. We're giving one of those away. Those are super awesome. They're there's only 20 of those, and there's probably not going to be more, at least of that, prototype. So that's a good thing to win. Xbox One, obviously that would be nice to have, and Logitech headset, Logitech mouse, all kinds of good stuff for you guys, and a nice pair of Astro A40s. So there's a lot of awesome stuff to get, and just by being part of the Q&A session, I will roll a dice that I bought today from ChessX. They're nice guys. It's a Roman D4 for those of you that want to know, and if you roll even, you will get an access key to the Xbox One Alpha, as well as a little miniature Thor 3D model. So ask your questions, and I think line up at the mics. Let's do this.
Yeah, line up at the mics. And,
line up at the mics. There's mics all around you.
There's one on each aisle, and we'll just alternate between them.
Okay. There's, okay. Which one's first?
We'll go with this one first.
All right. You got it. Take it away.
How you doing? My name is Jonathan.
Hi, John.
And I just had a question. With transferring it to console, did you find it difficult to get the control scheme to work on the Xbox controller?
You've probably played it.
Yeah, no, it's actually really interesting. We just recently hired Scott Gandhi, who is a caster for us, and he, is an ex-pro Halo player, and he helped a lot with the button configuration because it's a little difficult to have a lot of items. You have the item store, you have, upgrading abilities and everything. So the developers for the Xbox version of Smite really wanted to focus hard and see what kind of different compositions you could make that would be really easy for players. It wasn't actually as difficult as we thought it would be. There's a lot of people, if you weren't able to play at the booth, it's actually pretty organic, from my opinion. It seems a lot easier than what I thought it was going to be. But there's multiple different modes you can play. There's Gandhi, who I was just talking about. He has a certain setting that is for more of a pro mode where you never have to take your your thumb off the stick, so you don't have to hit abilities and everything.
That's kind of that seems to be the trick, right? The more experienced or the higher level of performance you're trying to get out of the controller, the least you want to take your thumb off of the second joystick. So those controller configurations, there's some flavor of basically your thumb's always on the joystick, so sometimes you're hitting A but not Y. And then there's some that are all shoulder buttons for everything that's active, and then you're primarily controlling your character. So was it challenging? I think, yeah. You rolled a 2. Ooh. You win a prize. Come on up, bud.
Yeah, congratulations.
Great job. You did it. Clap for him. You get an Xbox One Alpha key and a little tiny Thor to go along with your Xbox Alpha key.
All
Thanks
right.
a lot.
How about that gentleman over there?
My question was that how early in the development of Smite was esports brought into it? Because you obviously put a lot of emphasis on building the community to have the esports build up your brand. Was that a ongoing point to bring that out, or was that it's developing into it, we need to almost, transition into it?
Sure. So for me, coming off of Tribes and being heavily involved in the esports kind of output from Hi-Rez for that game, when we started making Smite, it was kind of just the extension of what we were doing in Tribes, basically. So I was streaming Tribes and shoutcasting it, and then there was another game to do that with, sort of thing. It was that's kind of the inception of it, and then how it grew. Todd will have more insight into kind of the strategy behind esports and Smite.
Well, I think, as Bart said, and as I highlighted, as a developer, we've been doing PvP games, right? That's all we do is online PvP games, so that's definitely in our DNA. With Tribes, we started dipping our toe into esports, Bart leading that charge. And so I think we definitely benefited from that because there were features we put in to Smite very early that actually we didn't have in Tribes that helped that scene grow. So specifically like a ranked mode so that people could play and talent could be discovered just from playing the online game. Also an enhanced spectator mode, a demo system, more enhanced stat recording. So we definitely invested the time in features so that if there was an appetite for esports, we could step up and support it. So that and Bart and Hira's Andy and that team were running tournaments very early throughout beta, basically every weekend to see if there was an appetite for it. And we saw that there was. So that just kind of confirmed that it would be worth us establishing a pro league and doing higher money tournaments and that sort of thing.
And you, wait. You rolled a 3. Sorry, bud.
Still a key, right?
Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
You asked the question.
When you get a key.
You said the words, come get a key. Come get a key. Yeah, clap for him. He got a key, guys. He got a key.
Okay, next.
What was involved in your decision of porting to the Xbox One over the PS4? And also, do you plan on porting to the PS4 as well?
So I'd say there's definitely an opportunity for MOBA across console because really there hasn't been one that's taken off and there hasn't been any tried on any next-gen console. Really the decision to go Xbox was primarily based on Microsoft's just huge support and appetite for the title, honestly. I mean, they I think, wanted to have additional free-to-play offerings on their platform, and they saw what MOBA did on PC, and so they have just been extremely supportive of the title, and so that's why Xbox first.
Any plans of PS4 version, or?
Xbox first.
You rolled a 4. I think that means you win the Thor statue. In addition to an Xbox One alpha code. You also did it. You also did it. To the nun.
Ooh, a nun.
Hi.
Hello. What's your name?
I'm Margot.
Margot?
Yes.
Okay.
I just wanted to know, are you planning on adding any other religion or
So
mythology?
the question is, will we be adding another pantheon to the game?
Yes.
I think it's, well, yeah.
Or is it
you say it.
secret?
You'll probably do better justice than I will on the developer ease here.
Yeah, so we all want another Pantheon.
There we go.
The development plate is quite full. So yes, we do plan on adding another Pantheon, but when that happens is still very much TBD. So it's not going to happen in the short term, but it will happen eventually.
And to answer the follow-up question to that, yes, Japanese is potentially a thing.
As is Celtic. As is Celtic.
Yeah, Celtic. I mean, I think
There's
the
many
main ones that are, Celtic and Japanese, African are probably like the 3 that are in the realm. I mean, everything's in the realm of possibility, but those are definitely have a lot of kind of knowledge.
Those
and weight
get
behind
discussed
them.
the most.
Also, some of that Eastern European, the Baba Yaga and those pantheons. Yeah, we talk about those. It's fun. Nice. What are you going to roll? It's going to be a 1. You crit miss. But you just look at the alpha code, so come on up. Yeah. I love how you guys clap every time.
I love the awkward clapping, right? It's never like,
sure
yeah, so it's just.
Such applause for Bart's dice rolling.
I know,
skills.
the dice rolling is really doing it. Go ahead, what do you got?
Well, can I use one account if I log in on PC and Xbox, or will each one require a separate account?
Separate accounts, no crossplay. You can do a one-time account copy. So if you've been playing on PC, you can copy. You won't lose your progress. You'll carry all that over, but then they'll be separate.
Okay.
Yes.
And roll.
And you, sir, have won yourself a tiny Thor, in addition to a Smite alpha code for Xbox One. Thank you for your applause. All right, to the other side.
Thank you.
Well, since you guys also worked on Tribes Ascend, I was wondering, what would it take to hear Shazbot in Smite?
Oh, it's a tragedy that it says curses in this game. Whoever made that decision made a bad one. And what would it take for it to happen? 5 hours of voice recording. I mean, well, realistically, like at this point, calling back voice actors, the guy that did the original voice for Smite, like who knows? He may be, on a whale boat in the Bering Strait right now, but sure, it could happen, and it should happen.
It's a good idea.
Todd.
It's a good idea. We have a couple tribe skins in there, so we should have more Shazbot.
At least one of them
Smite,
should say Shazbot,
so.
yes.
All right, let's
Great
roll.
question. And you do not win a tiny Thor, but you do win an Xbox alpha code. Come on down and have some applause. The real prize is the applause and the hours of enjoyment. Have at it, support player.
Thanks. Is there going to be a push for a competitive Xbox version of Smite, or is
Sure.
it going to be kept separately from the PC version?
Well, those two things aren't mutually exclusive to me, right? It's not. If there's a push, will it be separate? It's kind of all one big. It's Smite. In terms of Xbox or console esports, just in general, I think that's purely dictated by how much desire there is for it. Very similar to how PC Smite went. I'm sure we will see some amount of just tournaments, just to, it's a good thing to do for the community, more community events. And then if there is this, big appetite in teams and the interest in it, push forward and look at esports for console. I mean, obviously, as Kelly said earlier, Scott, coming from Halo for many, many years, has a pretty good understanding of that. It's an interesting, really interesting kind of piece of the esports market. It's so like heavily Midwest concentrated, and it's really neat. So I hope so. I really would like it to be.
Yeah, we'd like a future where the future SWC has multiple events, and one of them is Smite on Xbox One as a separate event. But as Bart said, we'll throw some test tournaments and see what the community's appetite is for it.
All right, thank you.
You rolled a 2. Come get your tiny Thor, as well as an Xbox Alpha code. You did it. Woo. All right, Boston Bruins, go.
Will we see any changes to Bologna?
Any changes to Bologna?
I hope so. She's a little strong.
She's perfect.
Just like Release Guan Yu.
Nah, she's not that bad.
I'm sorry, my bad.
She's at Release Guan Yu. You're not.
Nothing
that's
compares
not
to
even the
Release
same ballpark.
Guan.
Release Guan Yu broke the graphs. You ever you're in Excel in your high school MIS class and you accidentally put in 1,000 into the field and all of the other ones get really tiny. That's what Release Guan Yu was like. Bologna, I'm sure, like every new god, right? They usually go through 1 or 2 balance passes before they are put into ranked or allowed for professional play. And Bologna hasn't had that yet. She is obviously pretty powerful. She's really not outside of really any kind of normal numbers. For example, Bologna is not winning more games than you would expect out of a warrior. She's kind of right in the middle of the pack. But I mean, the community concern is definitely there, and we see it. I mean, so I would assume so. Yeah, balance, boys. You roll a 1, but you get an Xbox Alpha code. So come on out, bud, and have some applause.
Thank you for the enthusiasm. Thank you.
So you guys have the official Smite game stream for the PC. Will you guys be supporting a similar thing for the Xbox version?
My guess, and I don't know how much any plans we really have specifically around this, but my guess would be that it would be just incorporated as part of the Smite game on Twitch. So Twitch TV Smite game will be, I think would approach it from the position of who is the most entertaining streamers that we can get to represent the company during these time slots, and if they're Xbox players, great. And I'm sure we'll have some amount of really desiring at least a few of the time slots to be Xbox based. I also would assume there probably will be a Smite Xbox specific channel for specific Xbox future events maybe, but in terms of the 24-hour streaming platform, I would think it would just kind of be worked right in.
Okay. Also, I had a question about the.
You gotta ask the guy behind you if it's okay to ask 2 questions, dude. Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Okay. You said that it's for copying the account. It's not a transfer. So the PC, if you have it on PC, you copy it over the Xbox, you'll still have your PC account and everything?
Straight duplication.
Gotcha.
So basically whatever gods you have unlocked, what skins, all that stuff, you just take it to the Xbox. What you don't take with you is your gems. Because Microsoft points are different than gems or whatever, right? So it's your wallet, so to speak, will remain on PC, but all of the other stuff is duped right over.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. And you roll a 2, you get a tiny Thor as well as an Xbox Alpha code. You did it. You did it. Yes.
Ranked Arena, will that ever come back?
Will Ranked Arena ever come back?
Maybe.
Yeah, I think maybe. I think that's Ranked Arena went away because not enough people played it. So Ranked Arena, I guess, comes back when enough people play it. That which is weird, right? It's kind of one of those chicken and egg problems. I assume it's an overall kind of population growth kind of question. When you have as many game modes as we do, obviously it segments the player base in a certain respect. So people like 3v3 versus Arena versus Conquest, etc. So Ranked as a whole, when Arena was removed, was much smaller than it is now, given the new league systems and a little bit better kind of rewards and all. As we've figured out really how to do ranked matchmaking well, that whole population's grown. So I think there's definitely a possibility for Ranked Arena. Words.
Roll.
You roll a 4. You did it. Come get a Thor.
A 4 for Thor?
4 for Thor.
I like it. 4
Love
for Thor.
it.
So I had a question. Where do you see Hi-Res Studios in, let's say, 5 years?
High-res in 5 years.
Wow.
Ooh.
Our own giant building.
Yeah, in a volcano.
No, I don't know. I mean, honestly, as long as the games that we're making, continue to grow, we don't have to. It doesn't have to be hockey stick growth. We just like to see games that continue to spread. So, our expertise is in online multiplayer games. So I think we'll continue to concentrate on that. We're obviously more than a one-game studio, so probably we'll see additional new titles for us. From us in the future. But honestly, for the next year, most of our attention is on Smite because we're obviously bringing it to Xbox One. We're also growing it in new geographies. China, it turns out, has a lot of online game players, and we haven't launched Smite there yet. So even though China was represented at the last esports event, the pro teams had access to it, but people in general do not, and that's going to happen this year, which should drive just great growth for the game, and that means, more resources for us to put content out for you guys. So, yeah, we'll keep doing games.
You rolled a 2. Come get your Thor.
Good luck.
You did it. Congratulations. Have some applause.
You guys don't have to clap
that
for
was
them.
like golf claps.
You guys
they
don't have
they
to.
really aren't that proud for you. Sorry, bud. Go ahead. What do you have?
Okay. First of all, I want to thank you guys on behalf of Gamer Launch working with us, doing the site community hosting stuff.
Yeah, no doubt.
It's refreshing to see from developers. My question is, do you guys have any plans or have you thought about doing any sort of resources support for local or regional type competitions similar to, maybe not exactly the same, but in the same motif as Wizards of the Coast, like Friday Night Magic kind of things?
Now Friday Night Magic is a pretty serious undertaking with a really rich background of that kind of, right? I mean, they're able to, it's a little bit different for them because that's not important. But anyway, regionality-wise, yeah, so specific to us, right, we are pretty active in our own region, with the universities and the high schools around Atlanta. And in terms of kind of community support staff, we have, we get requests, like last month we gave out like almost 400,000 gems to community tournaments and kind of local events. So yeah, we do. Now, is it a well-structured and organized beast like Friday Night Magic, something like that? Not so much, but it is definitely something that we do support and are willing to listen to basically anybody say anything about why they should have Smite support.
Yeah, if you're running a tournament at your university or just local land center or whatever it is, definitely contact us because like Bart said, there's a set of minimum requirements, but we're happy to support you with specifically gems for prizing, and also we'll help push you on the social channels locally to where you are. So we love working with community sites to do that. And then as far as regions, that's something we're just growing into as it makes sense. We don't want to do it too fast, but we're doing regional activity in France, for instance, so things even outside of North America. There's a lot of activity coming out of Australia. We were there for Pax Australia. We had a great showing. I expect that we'll see a team from Australia or New Zealand qualify for next Worlds. So the game's spreading and definitely want to work with community folks. Just hit us up.
Yeah, cool.
You didn't win a Thor. Come get a code, though.
Awesome.
All right, go ahead. No more clapping. we have to, we're, all right, so just so you guys know, yeah, okay. It's 10 past 2, and we have to do this raffle as well for all this cool stuff. So
We'll try
rapid
to go
fire,
into
rock and roll, dude. What's your
speed round
question?
questions and answers.
What is the biggest hurdle you faced when porting Smite to the Xbox One?
You got to rebuild the UI.
Okay.
You didn't win a Thor, but you do get a code. Come on up. What do you got, bud?
Hi, quick little question. What are your favorite skins? My favorite, for example, is Pixel Buster Freya and Scarlet Coven Isis.
Winter Solstice or Solstice Hell.
Favorite skin? Oh, hell. Yo, go Todd. Do you
Well,
have an answer?
I mean, Archon, of course, is that one's just over the top, but that's a little unfair, Archon Thanatos. Pixel Buster Freya would be a close second, though.
I think the Incinerator Agni skin is one of my favorite. I just think it's really, lore and really well done. Come get a code and a Thor because you won. Orange hat, let it rip.
Is Domination ever coming back?
Is Domination ever coming back?
Very, very unlikely. Sorry.
Unlikely. Now, will there ever be a point capture mode in Smite? Much more likely than it being Domination, right? I mean, not to say that the game mode's bad or anything. It's just probably not that map. But potentially.
Yeah, maybe point capture, maybe Egypt themed, but not Domination.
Yeah, maybe a lot of those same checkboxes, but probably not same map. You rolled a 2. Come get a Thor. You did it. Back across.
All right, so within esport, I feel that there's a little bit of a catch-22 going on, whereas in order to get more teams, there need to be more audience, there need to be like watching for the sponsors to actually go into these teams and sponsor them and go to tournaments. But also it goes the other way as well, you know, to get more viewers, you need more pro teams out there, you need tournaments. Like,
Sure.
how are you planning to get overcome this hurdle?
More players.
Yeah, yeah. So
honestly, it starts with players.
That's a really basically it, right? So for example, I do a lot. Both Todd and I do a lot of business development and talking to sponsors. Me a lot on the side of the organizations and the teams, but also their sponsors, specifically like Logitechs and guys that are really active in esports. And honestly, they ask a lot more about the game than they do about the viewership and the demographics of who's watching on Twitch. It's kind of like, how fast is the game growing? How many players do you have? Because they're looking at that as the big pie. So you grow the players. Yeah.
Once we launch in Asia, that should be a huge increase in the PC player base globally, which a lot of these brands care about. And once we launch on console, we'll be the hopefully only MOBA that sticks, or at least the first MOBA of pioneering. And a lot of these sponsors care about mainstream gamers. They don't quite get PC gaming, even though it's huge. They kind of get it when it's on the Xbox that their kids play in the living room. So both of those things will help Smite and other MOBA games that do that.
Yeah, it comes down to getting new organizations into Smite. It almost comes down exclusively to relationships. It's like the likelihood that there will be a TSM team because I met Reggie at an event in 2012 is really high. You know, that kind of thing, right? It's like you have to it's relationship management, honestly, is a lot of it, plus the player base numbers. And you have not won a Thor, but you have won an Xbox code. Come get it.
Thank you. Is there any god that isn't in the game that you'd like to see in the game?
Oh, yeah. For me, he's probably Set from Egypt.
What was the question?
Any god in the game you'd like to see?
Oh, I wanted
that's not in it.
I wanted to see Quetzalcoatl because I'm a big fan of Final Fantasy VIII, but
Sorry,
I mean,
Kukulkan.
what?
It's Kukulkan.
Yeah, exactly. Now we have Kukulkan, so yeah.
Flying spaghetti monster.
FSM? Yeah. You're a crowd pleaser. All right. You roll a 1, you get a code, you get no Thor. But you do get to listen to this guy's question.
Hi.
Hey.
What's the deal with Odin's Throne, and what's going on with the original arena?
Wait, what was the first part? What realm?
Odin's Throne. It's very
Odin's Throne. Oh, why
disco.
is it weird purple crayons?
Yeah.
Oh, so that happens when a texture is missing. So the game, basically a game compiles from all of the developers. They kind of put their chunks in, and then the whole thing becomes a game, and sometimes a piece doesn't get in. And if it's a texture, you see purple and white because that's Unreal's default material. Will you see like Daylight Arena specifically? Yeah. That thing? I doubt it. I mean, it was completely remade, so we will.
Likely.
Oh, I think it's probably likely that you'll see it. So yeah, roll away. Euro 1, get a code. Womp womp.
Next one.
How did you feel that the community would react when you went over to Xbox? Because I know that some people have a problem between PC and console games. How did you think that the community would react, and were you nervous or anything?
I don't think we were really worried about the separation between the two consoles. I think we were just excited to see how the community would react just by being on a console and having a MOBA come to the Xbox One. So I don't think we were really too worried about the decision between the two. More so the fact that we're just coming to console, and that's really cool.
The PC Master Race thing is pretty passé these days, right? I mean, it's been 10 years. We get it.
I think the fact that we don't have crossplay, honestly, I mean, that might have worked, might have not, but we decided we weren't going to do that. And so I think any PC players that were somehow concerned about it, as long as we don't have crossplay and they see that that game is continuing to be supported on the PC, those would be their two concerns that were rational. There might be other ones. So, but it really hasn't been much bad backlash at all. The game's growing, so I think they're excited about it.
You win no statue, come get a code. Back across the room.
Yeah. How long did it take you guys to rework the UI for from PC to console?
The one that's currently in the game. How long did that take?
Yes.
Is that the question?
For Xbox or for PC?
For the current PC live version.
No, from PC. How long did it take you to get the?
Oh, to
Xbox?
Engineer from PC to Xbox.
Yes.
Well, we're not done yet.
Yeah, TBD.
Yeah.
To get what you see today, probably 2 months, 6 weeks. I mean, it was pretty rapid, hacking the old UI and building it all up again, right? And it's definitely not in a finalized state. So
We're
next year
continuing
ask
to
that same
optimize
question,
it.
and maybe we have a good answer for you.
Yeah, the item store is in a pretty good place, and the God selection is very close. Some of the secondary menus, like options and things that you don't have to go to all the time, are actually still much too much like the PC. We really want it to look and feel like a product designed for Xbox One, so still going.
You get a Thor. Come on up, bud.
Yeah.
All right, go.
First thing first, Flash Mercury skin would be awesome.
Hey, what?
A Flash Mercury skin would be amazing.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And second thing, one of my favorite things about Smite is the third-person aspect of it. What made you guys decide to go with that? Because it's so different than a lot of other MOBAs that are out there.
We are proficient in Unreal Engine 3.
No, it started as a game mode for Global Agenda, actually. Our first game, Global Agenda, was a third-person class-based shooter, and one day Ares said, let's try adding towers and minions in there. And we had something that was kind of Global Agenda and kind of a MOBA with science fiction characters, and it was really fun, and we thought this should be a game on its own, and then we decided we'd make it Gods and Goddesses, and that birthed Smite. So it actually started life not as a MOBA, but as a third-person action game, and I think you feel that in the combat.
I definitely do.
Just a code, no Thor. Oh, yeah. Pixel Buster Freya. Look at that.
Hey!
Holy shit, that's awesome. All right, go ahead.
So in the Greek pantheon, you have the three big gods. Are you ever planning on adding the three big goddesses like Hera or Demeter? And if you do, what roles would you expect them to be?
Yeah, we have the bros. Well, Hera is some kind of mage or guardian, probably. Demeter feels magey. What's the third one?
Hestia, I believe.
Yeah.
Hestia.
Hestia?
Yes.
Warrior. I didn't make that up. You rolled a 1, I'm sorry, but I love your cosplays. Come get a Thor anyway.
Yeah.
Awesome cosplay. When are we drawing door prizes?
How long? I mean, we'll save 10 minutes for the raffle. Just rip through it. So keep going. What do you got?
How did Microsoft approach you about Smite, and did they set any restrictions?
Sorry, could you say again? Has Microsoft?
How did Microsoft approach you about Smite on the Xbox One, and did they put any restrictions on?
They started talking with us really early before the game was released, before the Xbox One was released. We actually were considering the 360, but decided not to because of our own thoughts on graphical fidelity as well as other things. Also the fact that there wasn't really a way to self-publish the game. So it was pretty important to us. One of the things we like is the direct community interaction, and that's something new for them. And so that was the one key thing that they said that was good news to us, is that we could publish directly on the Xbox One, and that we could update it very frequently. So there really have not been any restrictions to date. It's still early. So far, they've been great to work with. We'll see after we release, but so far, they've been a really good partner.
Yeah, they're still doing, like, their Microsoft ID program, right, is what I was saying, like publishing directly to the Xbox One.
But
the Xbox One.
Free-to-play is new to them,
Right.
and self-publishing is new to them, so I'm sure we'll learn a lot along the way, but they seem to be saying the right things.
I think the restrictions are primarily out of like a mutual ignorance as we work through it, right? There aren't really, it doesn't seem like there's really that many restrictions. It's mostly it's a work in progress, the whole thing. So thank you for asking. You get a Thor, come on. All right, this probably needs to be our last question so we can move into raffle.
We'll stick around after this, by the way, if people want to find us one-on-one for questions, but we do want to get
we wanna give
door
you the free
prizes.
stuff.
So the last question, and then we'll draw some prizes.
Hey, are you guys planning on putting Smite on the Mac? And I'm asking for a friend.
Smite on Mac?
I'm pretty certain gamers don't use Macs.
Oh.
You don't owe me, it's true.
Boo this one.
Are you serious?
Boo.
Yeah, that's right. PC Master Race. Come on.
I already said that was passe.
Maybe,
Smite on Mac?
Maybe, yeah, it wouldn't be that hard of an effort for us. It's, and we do get that question a lot. There's a lot of Mac gamers out there, but honestly, it's kind of a business decision right now. If you look at gaming, Mac probably grows at about 10%. And when we look at, say, Xbox One, we can grow it larger than that. So it's probably a matter of eventually getting to it. It's just development resources, not that we don't want to do it. We just have to find time to actually get to it.
There is a really cool piece of software, though, that lets you boot Windows. It's actually not cool. It's actually really common, and you probably have it already. So you can play Smite on Mac right now.
Is Fenrir coming out next patch?
Boot camp, boys.
Fenrir?
Huh?
Fenrir is next patch.
Yeah,
Get away,
Fenrir,
Reddit.
next God.
Yeah, would one of the lovely assistants please give us a raffle box? And we will begin the raffle process. So pull that ticket out.
Ooh, all right, everyone.
So, my goodness, let's do the figurines first, the 3D prints, because there's a few different gods, and we'll let the people choose them as we call your name. So, if you do have this number here,
then come up quickly.
Come up quickly, please, and get your thing and have your choice. 16331. 16331.
They left.
1633 Uno.
The jerks. Get a new one.
All right.
Dead to us.
New topic. 16323. 323. Wait, we have a winner? I heard a woo.
No.
No woo. Okay.
All right.
1629. 029. They all start with 16.
16029.
Hey! Come get your thing.
All right, next one.
So yeah, there's a few different figures to choose from. The guys will let you know what they are. I think there's a Fenrir, there's Guan Yu, there's all kinds of cool stuff. There's 5 of these, so let's keep going. 18831.
Yeah? All right, congratulations, man.
Cool.
Come right up
That's
here.
number 2. 18826. This is thrilling. 18826. 826. 18826.
You gotta remember, I think they put.
Wait,
they
we
put.
have one? Hey, you did it. 18817. Hey, okay, that's number 4, and there's 5 of these. 15961 is the final victor for the sweet 3D prints. These are like large ones too. They're awesome. You guys can find all this stuff is made by Sandboxer. It's sand and then box and then an R. And you can find that, Twitter, Facebook, email. Probably not email, but 15961, was that a thing? No, not a thing.
No, they did get it, didn't they not?
Wait, we did. Wait, what?
Yeah.
Yeah? Oh, we did it. Okay, is that the 5th one? Yeah, we have one more. Are we good? Are we done?
Oh,
okay,
3.
we have 3 left. 18855. Hey, you did it. 18828. 18828.
This is the most depressing giveaway ever. Not the stuff that we're giving away, but just everyone just sitting quietly hoping that they win, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. Let's get a little hype.
We need to get like a We Will Rock You going in here just the whole time. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, bring up the house. 18828.
Oh, yeah, sorry, no. Sorry.
18828. Oh, he got it.
We're on the hardware.
I'm not sure. Are you? All right, okay. We're on to hardware. This is going to be for the Logitech headset as well as mouse. There's a Proteus Core mouse. Oh, just a headset. You don't get a mouse. There's 18822.
18822.
Hey!
Congratulations. Yeah! Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
This one is for the this golden scuff controller. Only 20 of these in the world. It's a pretty sweet deal. 18875. Xbox One scuff controller. Gold.
18875.
Pax East, Smite edition.
Is the winner right there?
Oh, there he is.
Did you win?
You did it.
Hey, congratulations! All right.
And now on to our final items with a retail value of over $200. Actually, probably something like that. That's about the price point for sweet Astros. Brand new Astro 840s with the mix amp. Do they have the Smite plates with them, Garrett? No Smite plates, but you can buy those. You got a free headset. 18873.
18873.
Brand new pair of Astro 840s brought to you by the fine folks at Astro.
Hey!
And we have a winner. You did it. And the final, I'll go all the way deep down in it. Yeah. So this is for an Xbox One with a 60 gigabyte hard drive and no Connect. And it comes with a Smite helper code as well, so you can play. It's 16236.
16236.
Yeah, you did it.
Is that it? Is that our giveaways?
I believe that will conclude the giveaways. You can,
All right,
you can
everyone.
leave now. You're released.
Thanks for coming out, guys.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate
Come
it.
and see us at the Smite booth. Play some Smite.
Woo!